welcome back to the Tour of Britain. What's it like being back at the race on the outside?
It's special, yeah. You definitely understand what goes into creating a bike race better. As a rider, you get so grumpy at all the little details and I mean the organisation and what Sweet Spot managed to achieve here with this Tour of Britain is incredible. And obviously the UK roads are not exactly the easiest roads to police either, and it's complicated, and it's just it's a great insight, and also being able to enjoy the race as a spectator as well. It's been and meet so many great people as guests, hospitality.
I guess as a rider, this race is quite different to the ones on the continent, where the roads are quicker, not so quicksandy.
Exactly. Well, it's just heavy roads all day, and it's never. You look at a profile and you see that there's no big climbs, but it's just on all day, and there's heavy. The race can change at any moment at the Tour of Britain, and that's what makes it special and a surprise. Also, I think it's also always deceptive how difficult this race is and how challenging it is, and then you've got all the damp roads that we've had most days this week, and the fallen leaves, and what's starting to happen. It's it's always a challenge, this race, and especially in September as well. It's an 8-day stage race in September. It's not easy.
What's it like being on the being retired from racing? Do you actually miss it?
I mean, I missed the racing from a few years ago, but I know what it takes to get on that start line, and that's what I don't miss. It's the fact that I can wake up in the morning, and if I want to go for a run, I just go for a run. If I want to ride my bike, It's that freedom that I miss, that you don't understand how restrictive the life. Although it has been an absolute pleasure, and I feel privileged to have had that career and been able to do what I love for so many years. That's why I stopped. I felt myself starting to fall out of love with bike racing, and I didn't want that to happen. I wanted to be able to come to these races and still be a fan, and that was really important to me.
Well, you've achieved some momentous. I remember talking to you at a Braveheart dinner once about the pressures of a Grand Tour, for example. Did that change over your career? Did you get the urge to go for a GC and?
Yeah, that's what happened. I almost, looking back now, at the time I didn't even realise it, that I was a bit of a box ticker as a rider. I kind of won Liège, won Lombardia, and it was kind of a case of, well, now let's go and do Grand Tours. And so I moved to Andorra and turned myself more into a climber. I was already naturally a climber, but obviously the terrain I was training on in Girona was more suited to the classics. Whereas I went to Andorra to train in the mountains, and it paid dividends straight away with success at the Tour de France. And obviously misfortune and mistakes always cost me a really high place in the general classification, but that's how there's no regrets. I did my best, and I loved every minute of it, and I think that's the most important thing. And now it's, as I say, I just still love riding my bike.
Well, looking from the outside, when I look at what the Grand Tour GC contenders, the favourites, are having to put up with, especially now they've got the COVID thing as well, which can take you out. The pressure, the responsibility a rider must feel must be quite immense.
The pressure has definitely increased, and it's that stress, and you find yourself, I mean, especially with young kids as well, you're worrying about getting sick all the time. That illness can force you to miss training, and you feel that pressure to perform always, and it's that's the thing that hangs over you 24/7. Am I eating the right thing? Did I make a mistake going out to that restaurant because I might catch COVID now? Or you literally found yourself the last few years just in lockdown, even though everybody else was free to walk around, and I was essentially just building up to the Giro last year. It was a case of like bed, bike, sofa, bed. That was my plan. I didn't really leave the house if I wasn't in Lycra, because partly the risk of getting COVID, but partly the risk of that's how intense the training has become now. The sacrifice, you have to sacrifice normal life to get to the level that you can be competitive in a Grand Tour. And for me, that wasn't sustainable. I managed to find a sustainable balance between normal life and training and living like a professional that enabled me to be successful. And the current lifestyle that's required, it just wasn't sustainable for me, so and that's why it wasn't as much fun anymore. So that's why we decided to come and ride with guests.
Final word. Did you, as a youngster, have any inkling of what you were letting yourself in for, in terms of winning what you've won, especially? And did you actually feel pressure being the son of a bike rider like Neil, who had achieved things as well, although he didn't win a monument.
I never felt any expectation or anything, so I just loved riding my bike, and I was always a great believer, I am still, in fate, and just letting things, as long as I do my best, and I need to be happy with the result.
Yeah.
And I was never really that driven I was never driven by results. It was just enjoying racing, enjoying getting the best out of myself, and then I'd be happy. And then if that result is second, 10th, or 100th, well, as long as I did my best, I can't change the result. I can't affect how good the other guys are. So all I need to do is be happy with my performance. And fortunately, that was good enough to win a few bike races. And it's but I expected myself to be pro. It was never a dream to be a pro or get to the Tour de France. It was just going to happen in my head, and it was just like, it was a belief rather than a dream.
At what point did you believe? I mean, was it when you won the national championships? You know, you knew you were the best in the country, and
no,
you know,
always. I mean, even before I'd started riding a bike, it was like, no, I'm going to be a pro bike rider. And my friends would laugh.
Yeah, but I had those aspirations. I got nowhere near them.
Well, I don't know. As I say, I was just fortunate to be able to get there. It does involve a lot of luck and obviously hard work, but a lot of luck as well. And probably good genes or something. I don't know, but it's a tricky one. But I mean, looking back, read my book. I can say all about it.
Tell us about the book. When's it out? Is it out now? Or?
13th October it launches. Chased by Pandas. I just wanted to give an insight into not my results. Everybody knows my results. I'm not going to.
It must be difficult though. You know, this spitting in the soup thing. When you're sitting down to write a book, just how much can I actually say, even though you're not racing anymore, or not?
I've got nothing to hide and nothing I'm afraid of saying. You know, it's like I'm actually quite enjoying being this side of the fence and being able to say whatever the hell I want because you're not worried about upsetting anybody. I don't really feel the need to upset anybody because there's no malice, there's no bad feeling against anybody. It's more. As I say, nobody wants. I'm not going to sit there and write a book about how I won this race, how I did it. It's more about
the background stuff, you know,
the mentality of it, the psychology behind it, and the anxiety as well that goes with bike racing. As you say, like I don't think anybody understands it. People see you on the podium and think, why aren't you still racing? It's like, but it's the 364 days a year that the job entails to get you on that podium, and that's the tricky bit. And I wanted to really, I think. Especially the reasons why I retired. That's why it's opening the door to show not saying how difficult it is. It isn't difficult. If it's your passion, you're fortunate to do your passion every day of your life. It's not difficult.
So how long has the book been? How long has it taken to write the book?
9 months, something like that. But we did it in French first, and then translated to English. So I've done 2 French.
I'm surprised you didn't go for Spanish, being an Andorra.
Well, it's the French author, so it's just a different style of writing, and I've been heavily involved. He put the pieces together, but I've basically we've written it over WhatsApp Messenger with the voice messages. I've probably done about 30 minutes. It's probably about a 4-month period when I did about 30 minutes a day on voice message. And it's been heavy workload, but we're really content with how it's turned out, and hopefully readers are as well.
So look out for it in bookshops and online.
Thank you.
All right, well done.